Shalom, shalom. Wanda, what's going on? Ashar Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Wait for some people to get up in here real quick. Get some eyes on here. Get some
Hey,
eyes on
Shalom,
here.
Wanda. Ashar Shabbat.
Usually they start trickling in here. Yeah, give it some time though. How you doing, Wanda?
Shalom, Barak.
Yeah.
Ashar Shabbat. I was just Sabbath. I just Sabbath one so far.
Oh, my Sabbath is good. My Sabbath is good. I
Come
was
on,
playing.
praises.
I was playing some music earlier, just getting in the spirit and everything. You know.
No praises.
Yeah. But how was your the beginning of your Shabbat?
It was awesome.
Con,
Was able to
con,
wake
con.
up this morning, be among the living of our people.
Yeah, yeah. Con. And then now we got four people on. We got some eyes on. So I'll go ahead. So this is gonna be how to operate on the Sabbath of the Most High. And without further ado, we give all honor and praises and glory to the Most High and Tawada for joining us for the Q&A and for this class on the Sabbath, on the Shabbat. We do appreciate your time um, and your charity this afternoon. And with that, we'll begin the class.
All right, come. Shalom, Ashar Shabbat, everybody. All right, everybody make yourself known in the chat
Con.
so we can see who we engage in, and because basically, a lot of times the classes are, especially my classes, I like class participation. I'll be looking for question and answers in the comments. And everyone, please click the like button. And if you didn't subscribe to our channel so you can get all the alerts
Con.
whenever time classmate starts. Colored people ain't never on time, so make sure you click the notification for all, so you'll be alerted when we get on. Shalom Wandawana, Shalom Dalia Kadash, Shalom. There are other three people hiding in the background. Everybody make yourself known. How what? And how is the Hebrew word which is the. So the what?
It's me again, Shalom, sister.
Hey, Shalom is me again, Ashar Shabbat.
Sure.
All right, so we're gonna get in because question was asked in the comments last week about, because one person said they sleep on the Shabbat if they're not watching the classes or whatever the case may be, and that was one because she wrote it in the comments, so that's why I'm saying her name. And she asked, "What do you do on the Shabbat?" So, do anybody have an idea about what to do on the Shabbat? Let's all put it in the comments. Wanda, Dalia Kadash. It's me again. And whoever else is hiding in the background, not saying nothing.
Oh, there's a banner. What say ye?
Okay. I like that.
Yeah. Hey, check this one out. Hey, say something and we will say something. Now, I know that's for something else, but I like this banner.
All right, let's not experiment while we're online.
All right. So,
Okay. Miss Me, it's me again. Said class with LOI and AOC. If they're having it, damn. We do have it. And Lines of Israel probably was on a little earlier because I know they started classes before we do.
And then
One that said she be chilling, watching class videos most of the time, and the rest of the time she be sleeping. You can't sleep. We're not supposed to. We're not supposed to sleep the Sabbath away. Yes, Friday sundown. Yeah, we can sleep because the nighttime you're supposed to rest. Okay, and you be watching movies that have nothing to do with salvation. Okay, so now we're gonna read about the things that we can do during the Sabbath, things that we're not supposed to do during the Sabbath. I'm not gonna make a long soliloquy about it, so we just gonna jump right into it. You don't be sleeping, just be in bed. Hey, I get it. Laying down causes you to sleep. I know how that go. I'm a person of color too. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get Leviticus chapter 23, verse 1 to verse 4.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 1. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feast of the Most High, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even
So,
these.
so now these are feasts of the Most High. They're holy convocations. Holy means what? Set apart. So these are set apart gatherings. So go ahead.
Even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done.
So now we got to remember this. These are my feasts. So what are you doing? You eating? You being celebratory on these high holy days? Go ahead.
But the seventh day is the Sabbath day of rest, and in
So the
holy
seventh
convocation.
the seventh day is the Sabbath day of rest. Now the word rest in the Hebrew is Shabbat. That means rest. Okay. And then you have the word sleep in Hebrew is tharadma. So whether you read it in the Hebrew or you read it in the English, the Sabbath day, it don't tell you to sleep the Sabbath day away. And you have a lot of Israelites that use, oh, it's a Sabbath of rest. And then, well, I'm going to sleep on the Sabbath. Now, when you go through the scriptures, you don't find nobody sleeping on the Sabbath. You understand? So now it's the Sabbath of rest. Go ahead.
Ye shall do no work therein.
So now we're not to do no work. Now, what is that work? That work is servile work, which is work for hire. Well, yeah, here in Babylon the Great, here in this modern day captivity, a lot of us have jobs where we work on the Shabbat. But now, if you willingly just picking up extra shifts on the Shabbat day, now that's where you're wrong at. Like the man that was picking up sticks on the Shabbat. But that's another story until we get there. So read on to verse 4.
These are the feasts of the Most High, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their season.
So even these are feasts of the Most High, holy convocations that we're supposed to proclaim in their seasons, right? So now look at Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 14.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 5, verse 14. But the seventh day is the Sabbath day of the Lord thy God, Yahweh thy power.
So the Sabbath day, which is the seventh day, is the Sabbath day of the Lord our power. Now, when you look at Deuteronomy chapter 5, this is the commandments is being reiterated again. That's why when you look up the word Deuteronomy, you find out the word Deuteronomy is double law. The law is written what? Twice from Exodus. So the law is written twice from Exodus. You know, Israel is so hard headed. Things got to be repeated to us, got to be reiterated to us. So there we go. So read on.
In it thou shalt not do any work.
So
Thou,
so now it said thou should not do any work. Go ahead.
thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thine ox, nor thine ass, nor any of thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates, that thy manservant and thy maidservant may rest as well as thou.
So now even our servants, they're supposed to rest on the Sabbath day. So even when we get into the kingdom, when we get into the kingdom of the Most High, our slaves gonna be resting on the Sabbath day too. So everything's supposed to rest on the Sabbath. And if you look further into the scriptures, you'll see that your land is supposed to rest. It's supposed to be a whole year where your land don't rest. Your land's supposed to rest. Meaning that what? You're not supposed to be irrigating the land, planting and stuff for a whole year. And that is what, every 7 years. The land's supposed to rest and rejuvenate itself from working.
Hmm.
All right, let's get Exodus chapter 20, verse 8 and verse 9. Verse 8 to verse 11.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
So now we're reading what we just read in Deuteronomy chapter 5, where it was originally at. You're supposed to do what with the Sabbath day?
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Remember the Sabbath day and to keep it holy. Go ahead.
Verse 9, 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath day of the Lord thy power.
So so you're supposed to labor 6 days and do all our work and everything that we want and need to do in that span of time. As we can see, Sunday to Friday. Go ahead.
Okay. But the seventh day is the Sabbath day of the Lord thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy game, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates.
Right.
For,
Go ahead.
for in 6 days the Most High made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Most High blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it.
Right. So the Most High blessed the Sabbath day and he hallowed it. He made it what? Set apart. Let's take a quick look at the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One to one, it says somebody said that he is the Sabbath, so he doesn't have to keep it. What scripture what scripture, I would like to ask this. What scripture did he use to say that he is the Sabbath? Because we can go in the scriptures and show that the Lord, the Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, who our people ignorantly call the Messiah, Jesus Christ, he, he said it says there that he is the Lord of the Sabbath. Not everybody else. They use that scripture to say, "Oh well, Christ had let the disciples pluck the ears of corn on the Sabbath." Yeah, he said, "Am I?" There, he said, "Am I not the Lord of the Sabbath?" Yeah, they had to eat on the Sabbath day. They probably got weary, they was hungry, so they went and plucked the ears of corn. And remember, the scripture said it's a holy convocation and it's a feast, so we have to eat on the Sabbath day. You finished that verse 11?
Oh yeah, come, I did.
But I'm not nowhere near in saying that for us to blatantly cook on the Sabbath day, just outright blatantly. I'm not saying to make a 5-star breakfast on a Saturday morning. I'm not saying you make a 4-course lunch on a Saturday afternoon. I'm not saying that. Yeah, you can prepare your foods and stuff for throughout the Sabbath before, and we're gonna read it that was done also. But we know at this day and time is hell and chaos, and some people got ailments to where they have to eat a meal on a Sabbath because they have to take certain medications.
Mm,
Some people have to take certain herbs, and certain herbs you can't take on an empty stomach.
that's a good point.
So so I'm not saying that you light a fire, you're gonna drop dead. I'm not saying that. If you have to heat up something to make something on the Sabbath, you don't do it with. I'm not saying to do it with malicious intent to you making a 5-star meal. So take a look at Leviticus 25:4.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 4. But in the seventh year shall be a Sabbath of rest unto the land.
So now this is when you get the Sabbath of rest. You get that year Sabbath of rest onto the land. And as you look in other scriptures, this is done every 7 years. Just like the year of release, when you borrow something from your brother or your sister, but you might forget to give it back. They might not, brother or sister might not remember or whatever. But when that year of release comes, you're supposed to give it back. You get what you borrow from your brother or sister, whether it's something monetary or whatever, clothing. So it's not no. This is remember the Sabbath is not something that's stiff and rigid. Back then, during the ancient times, yeah, because we was just getting started out, and then we was doing stuff maliciously and having no regard for the Most High, testing the boundaries, how far we can go with things. Can we be sneaky and do things? So I'll read that.
A Sabbath for the Most High. Thou shalt neither sow thy field nor prune thy vineyard.
Uh-huh.
That which groweth of its own accord of thy harvest thou shalt not reap, neither gather the grapes of thy vine undressed, for it is a year of rest unto the land.
Right. So you don't pluck the fruits or anything for that year. So we already putting when we know the year of release, when that year comes to for the land to have the Sabbath for the land, we did what? We made sure that we gathered everything that we need, and then plus we used the bartering system. So there was, we exchanged for things that we have, so things wouldn't go bad. So we knew how to be what, a cohesive unit as a nation. Let's get Leviticus 26 verse 34.
This is Leviticus chapter 20. Leviticus chapter 26, verse 24. Then will I also walk contrary unto you, and will punish you yet 7 times for your sins.
Hmm.
And I will bring a sword upon you that shall avenge the quarrel of my covenant. And when ye are gathered together within your cities, I will send the pestilence among you, and ye shall be delivered into the hand of the enemy.
That's Leviticus 26 and 34.
Oh, 34. Sorry, 34. Then the land enjoy her Sabbath. Then shall the land enjoy her Sabbaths, as long as it lieth desolate, and ye be in your enemy's land. Even then shall the land rest and enjoy her Sabbaths.
So even the land is supposed to, even if you're in your enemy's land, we still supposed to give the land give the land rest. So even in our captivity, when we grow our own food or whatever, we still gave the land rest throughout our captivities. All right. So Exodus 31 and 12 to verse 17.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 31 and 12.
What, you want to add anything to that, Barack?
Um, for the land
Give me a hot second.
oh no, you good. It just goes to show you that back in the day we had a little bit more discipline as far as the Sabbaths and paying attention and adhering a little bit more discipline. I'm not saying that they didn't, try the most high. Um, but once again, I mean, it just brings me back to us being an agricultural people. That's not the first thing that comes to mind when you think about us, at least not anymore. But it's cool to know that we were an agricultural people and we could actually be self-sufficient if we actually did, because I know that we have food deserts out here. So imagine if we all kind of um, got our put on our farmers hats, and kind of practiced all these things that we're reading about in the scriptures.
God.
Exodus. Wait, did you Exodus
Exodus
31,
31 verse 12.
verse 12, verse 12. Con. So, it's the book of Exodus, chapter 31, verse 12. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, Verily, my Sabbaths ye shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that ye may know that I am the Most High that doth sanctify you. Ye shall keep the Sabbath, therefore, it is holy unto you.
Right.
Everyone, everyone that defile it shall surely be put to death. For whosoever doeth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people.
See, you doing work. It says anyone that do a work on the Sabbath, that's that work for hire.
Hmm.
And now we gotta keep that part in mind, because we in our scriptures we're gonna get somewhere and we're gonna see something happened. Go ahead.
6 days may work be done, but in the seventh is the Sabbath of rest, holy to the Most High. Whosoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death. Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations for a perpetual covenant.
Yeah, we
It is
should keep the Sabbath. We should keep the Sabbath throughout all our generations for a perpetual. It just goes on forever throughout all our generations. And as we read in the previous scripture, it said even in our captivities we kept the Sabbath. That's verse 17.
it is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days the Most High made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed.
Right. So the Most High created the earth in 6 days. The seventh day he rested. That's Genesis. That's Genesis chapter 2, verse 1 and verse 2. And he said he rested and he was refreshed. So that is going to happen. Same thing with us. We're going to be. Are we not refreshed on the Sabbath day? Sit down, reading scriptures, not boggled down with the so-called white man's work, his jobs. We turn around and we be refreshed. And also, how we also refreshed? We refreshed in the spirit of the Most High. We build ourselves back up. Read on.
And he gave unto Moses when he had made an end of
Now, that's the
communing
end of
with
that
him.
one. That's the
Yeah.
end of that one. Uh, Exodus 35 and 2. And verse 3 and verse 19.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 35 and 2, and it reads, 6 days shall work be done, but on the seventh day there shall be to you an holy day, a Sabbath of rest to the Most High. Whosoever doeth work therein shall be put to death.
So now we're talking about working will be put to death back in ancient times.
Verse
Right.
19,
Turn.
the cloths of service to do service in the holy place, the holy garments for Aaron the priest, and the garments of his sons to minister in the priest's office.
Right. So now why did I go there? The reason why I go there because when you go through this chapter, you're reading about the covenants and the things that was, and you're gonna read when everybody get a chance after we finish the class, you can read chapter 35 of Exodus, and you're gonna see there was there was fire kindled on the Sabbath in the temple. He was we're gonna see it. But remember, like I said before, these things that's being done on the Sabbath is not supposed to be done with malicious intent. So everybody got that part. We're still gonna continue on with more. Just put a cut in the chat if everybody is following along so far. But in the meantime, while everybody is doing that, let's take a quick look in the comments. Shalom Hana Yashala, aka Latoya. Back to what something else Wonder Wanna has said. After that, I addressed the other one. Wonder Wanna said an Israelite that been in the truth for over 30 years. He said we are the Sabbath. I've been in this truth for 45 years, and I have not seen that. Aran Yasha Allah. Shalom. Shal Shabbat. It's me again, says she eats salads. Okay, that's good too. Okay. Wonder Wanda says she got it. Wonder Wanda said the bartering. I give you one hen for one rooster. Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, that's just an example of the bartering system. Something that somebody don't have and somebody else need, you got access of, so you make an exchange. Tavoya, Shalom. It's me again. She said, how do some camps come to the conclusion that the Sabbath is not every Saturday? Easy. Because they teach what they want to teach. Because you see, the scriptures is written out. It says it's written out plain on tables. But that's why the scripture says we know in part and prophesy in part. So certain people see things that's not there, and certain people don't want to see things that's not there. No, they want to see and put in place things that's not there, should I say.
Hmm.
Tasha, Shalom. Okay, it's me again. She said, Khan, Wonderwana said, Khan, Vodka Judah. Taz, what's going on, Adawan?
What's going on?
Liaison, Tatiyaga Bar. He said, Khan, it's me again. She said, Khan, all right, all praises. So we following, we coming along, we coming along. So now let's talk about now the working on the Shabbat. That's work for hire. Let's look at Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 15. And we're going to read to verse 17, 19, 20, something like that.
You said Nehemiah 15. No,
Nehemiah 13,
13.
verse 15.
Okay, got it highlighted. This is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 13, verse 15. In those days I saw Judah, some treading wine presses on the Sabbath, and bringing in sheaves, and lading asses, as also wine, grapes, and figs, and all manner of burdens, which they brought into Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. And I
Go ahead.
testified, and I testified against them in the day wherein they sold victuals.
So now Nehemiah said he testified against them. How did he testify against them? Bringing these things in on the Sabbath day. What they did, what he did was doing what? Bringing them back to the law. Hey, you can't be doing this on the Sabbath day. Go ahead.
Verse 16, there dwelt men of Tyre, also therein, which brought fish, and all manner of ware, and sold on the Sabbath on to the children of Judah in Jerusalem.
So Nehemiah walked in and seen all this going on. Go ahead.
Then I contended with the nobles of Judah, and said unto them, what
So
evil thing
he contended. So he argued with the top men. He argued with the nobles. Go ahead.
what evil thing is this that ye do, and profane the Sabbath day?
So
And
now you
now,
see now doing work for hire on the Shabbat day is what? This is an evil thing. Go ahead.
verse 18, did not your fathers thus, and did not our power bring all this evil upon us and upon this city? Yet ye bring more wrath upon Israel by profaning the Sabbath. And it came to pass that when the gates of Jerusalem began to be dark before the Sabbath, I commanded that the gates should be shut, and charged that they should not be opened till after the Sabbath. And some of the servants I set at the gates, that there should be no burden be brought in on the Sabbath day.
Right. So now, when you're out there working and all that, especially working for hire, you doing that's what? That's a burden. You're not relaxing. You're not resting. Shabbat. You're not at rest.
Hmm.
There's more. Read more. There's something I want to get to.
Okay. Verse 20. So the merchants and sellers of all kind of ware lodged without Jerusalem once or twice.
So they did it once or twice after Nehemiah said something to the people, and after Nehemiah said something to the nobles, to the leaders. Go ahead.
Then I testified against them and said unto them, why lodge ye about the wall? If ye do so again, I will lay hands on you.
So
From
now
that time,
Nehemiah said, yeah, now Nehemiah threatened them like, yo, I'm gonna lay hands on y'all now. Y'all do this again. So
from
that show you
that
that the
time,
Sabbath. That show you that the Sabbath was serious.
mhm.
Go ahead.
From that time forth, they came no more on the Sabbath.
So after that, after he done threatened them bodily harm, they said, you know what? We digress. We out of here. And from then on, did not do those things anymore. See, it was for doing work for hire on the Shabbat. You understand? So let's look at Numbers 15:32.
The book of Numbers, chapter 15, verse 32. And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks upon the Sabbath day. And they that found him gathering sticks brought him unto Moses and
So
Aaron.
now he was gathering sticks, right? Now everybody just think about that for a second. And they took him and brought him to Moses. He was just picking up sticks. So they found that to be a problem. But think about that for 1 second.
I'll read it again. It's the book of Numbers, chapter 15, verse 32. And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks upon the Sabbath day. And they that found him gathering sticks brought him unto Moses and Aaron, unto all the congregation. Yeah, man. So that was a pretty big deal, man. They're it's very serious. And I do like that you know, when they call it a burden. Um as far as, dwelling on things, like as far as me or as far as other people that I know, right? Focus on their schoolwork and studies and their jobs. And man, when you dealing with all that stuff on the weekend, when you even got to work on the weekend, it feels like a burden. Like, you sacrificing a little bit more time. You sacrificing time from your family, from gathering together, which we are required to do on the Sabbath. Like, there's a lot of things that you're missing out on. So when I do think about the worldly affairs on the Sabbath, I do feel bogged down and I do feel burdened, you know. And apparently, um, when he was gathering sticks, that was a burden. That was a burden, and that didn't seem fit. Um, so let's just continue on and just finish it out. Verse 34. And they put him in ward because it was not declared what should be done to him. So they didn't know what to do because it was like, I mean, he was gathering sticks, but was that a burden? Was that an offense to the Most High? Was it not? All right. Then verse 35, the Most High said unto Moses, the man shall surely be put to death, and all the congregation shall stone him with stones without the camp. And all the congregation brought him without the camp and stoned him with stones, and he died, as the Most High commanded Moses. And so I mean, this was definitely an offense, and as we read over and over again in the double law, which is Deuteronomy, in Leviticus, in Exodus, and if you do any type of work, you're going to be put to death. And the Most High is not a man. When he says something, when he says something, he's going to do something. He's going to stay by his word, and he's not going to bend. Slacky, yeah.
All right, Salak, I'm back.
Come.
Satan was banging on the front door. Yeah,
Right on time.
I'm like, yo, wrong door. What are y'all doing here?
I'll
Yeah.
take it from the top. I'll take it from the top. This is Numbers, verse 15, 32. And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks upon the Sabbath day.
Go ahead.
And they that found him gathering sticks brought him unto Moses and Aaron and unto all the congregation.
Go ahead.
And they put him in ward, because it was not declared what should be done to him.
Okay, read on.
And the Most High said unto Moses, the man shall surely be put to death.
So the Most High said unto Moses, all right, because Moses went to the Most High and said, yo, the man was picking up sticks on the Sabbath day. What should we do with this man? And the Most High said, put him to death for picking up sticks on the Sabbath. But nobody ever put two and two together why he got put to death for gathering sticks on the Sabbath. Now, I want everybody to look at to type something in. Why did he get put to death for picking up sticks on the Shabbat? What is y'all answer? And this is the part that Israelites pass over on, and it has been done for many, many years. Shalom Yediah. Shalom Yakanan 36. Shalom Mother Bethia. Shalom Issacharite Princess. Wonder Woman said thumbs up this live, comments, share. Okay, all praises. Wonder Woman said, I haven't studied that verse, so I don't know. Yes, you do know. We kept reading it, but it's not saying directly. We have to put two and two together. Put the scriptures together that we just previously read, and then look at the man picking up sticks on the Sabbath and being put to death. You do know, but you're just not putting two and two together. Come on, everybody. Vodka Judah. I'm Slack. I'm saying that because I'm staring at the screen. Chaza Gabar. Don't answer this question. Yediah Gabar. Don't answer this question. It's not if Barack continue on to read Wonder Woman, you're not going to see it. The answers are in the previous scriptures we read. I kept pointing something out. It's me again. Say gathering sticks is a form of work. Okay, but you're almost there. You're almost there. It's me again. You're almost there. Daya Kadash said, because the Most High said forevermore. No. Con, you missed it. Yeah, you are paying attention, but you missed it. I kept saying, remember this. When they're talking about work for hire, being put to death, I kept saying, remember that. When you look up this man that was gathering sticks, that was his occupation. He was a woodsman. So he sold wood. So he was out there doing what he do to make a living. When you read about him, he seen some fine sticks and stuff there, lumber there in the wilderness, and he knew that he was able to he can gather those up and take them. It was the whole thing was about him doing his work on the Shabbat. That's what it was. Him doing his he was doing his work on the Shabbat. All right, Barack. We can read it. You get that, huh? You get that, Barack?
God, I got it.
No. What I'm saying that he was doing his own thing
He
on the
was doing
Shabbat.
occupation work. So when the man was gathering up sticks, he was actually that was a part of his job because he sold
Right.
wood. Yeah, so
He, yeah.
that threw that out. Yeah,
He was a
but
woodsman. Right.
but it just appeared like out of the blue. He's gathering sticks. He's got to be doing it for something. It's got to be something.
Right.
Somebody told him, but he's obviously doing it to
Right.
for some reason other than
Because you remember when we lived in the wilderness, we was in the wilderness for 40 years. And remember, if you look at the trail of where we remember we traveled through the wilderness for 40 years. We ain't just sitting in one place. If you look at the 40 years of us wandering in the wilderness, it said we wandered. If you look at the map of where we went in the wilderness, we went in a big circle. So for those 40 years, so certain times you'll see certain things and like, oh, got this. So he was able to use that wood as, oh, I could use this to go bartering. All right, they might need firewood. Somebody might got an extra chicken or whatever. Yo, here's 10 pounds of wood. I'll take that lamb off your hands. I'll take this off your hands. So he was doing his occupational work on the Shabbat.
Copy that.
So he was bearing a burden on the Shabbat, as we just read in Nehemiah 13. When they laid the oxen and all that with the victuals and everything. So that's a burden for the animal to carry. So now what he was carrying a burden on the Shabbat. He was doing that burdensome work. So he had to be looking around as they wandering or whatever, and then next he got caught picking up sticks. He know the wood not supposed to have so much moisture in it, so it'll burn easy, or they can make a makeshift tent or whatever. So that's the way he was able to barter. Yes, current Wonder. That's why he was unalived. That's why he got put to death.
Is that where that game pickup sticks came from?
Maybe so. I don't know.
That's a good question. I'm not playing that game now.
Just gonna play it on the Shabbat.
Mess around and get electrocuted.
Right. Good. Let's look at Nehemiah 10 and 33.
This is the book of Nehemiah 10, verse 33. for the showbread, and for the continual meat offering, and for the continual burnt offering of the Sabbaths, of the new moons, for the set feasts, and for the holy things, and for the sin offerings, to make an atonement for Israel, and for all the work of the house of our power.
Now, did everybody just catch what we just read? Read that one more time.
This is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 10, verse 33. For the showbread, and for the continual meat offering, and for
So
the
for the showbread, the continual meat offerings, go ahead.
And for the continual burnt offering.
So therefore, a fire was kindled for the burnt offerings, go ahead.
Of the Sabbaths.
These are the offerings that we bring for the Sabbath day.
Of the new moons.
And the new moons.
For the set feasts.
As we read in Leviticus 23, go ahead.
And for the holy things. And for the sin offerings.
Go ahead.
To make an atonement for Israel. And for all the work of the house of our power.
Right. So now you see we had to bring burnt offerings, sin offerings. And when this stuff was done, this was done on the Sabbath day. Because why? You go back to Exodus, the Most High wanted these things. And you see it says continual burnt offerings, continual meat offerings. So we did this was constantly on every Shabbat, every high holy day. And remember, you have quite a few of our high holy days. Quite a few of our holy days are Sabbath days. They are Sabbath days. And what do you have to do? You have to cook and prepare food. Now let's deal with Yahweh Shai. Let's get Luke 6 and 5.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 6, verse 5.
And we're gonna keep going to verse 10.
Come. Like it. Book and verse again.
Luke chapter 6, verse 5 to verse 10.
6 verse 5. 6 verse 5. Okay. And he said unto them that the Son of Man is Lord also of the Sabbath. There it is.
Right. The Lord himself, he is the Son of Man, the Lord of the Sabbath. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And it came to pass also on another Sabbath that he entered into the synagogue and taught.
So now where did Yahweh go in on the Sabbath? He entered into the synagogue. Go ahead.
And there was a man whose right hand was withered, and the scribes and Pharisees watched him, whether he would heal on the Sabbath day.
Right. So now the scribes and the Pharisees, they're looking at see, yeah, and then find out he's going to do work on the Sabbath day. Go ahead.
That they might find an accusation against him. But he knew their thoughts, and said to the man which had the withered hand, Rise up and stand forth in the midst. And he arose and stood forth. And Yahweh said unto them, I will ask you one thing. Is it lawful on Sabbath days to do good or to do evil?
Right. See, now is it lawful to do good or evil on the Sabbath day?
To save life or to destroy it? And looking round about upon them all, he said unto the man, Stretch forth thy hand. And he did so, and his hand was restored, whole as the other.
So now he restored the man. He healed the man on the Sabbath day. So to do good on the Sabbath.
And they were filled with madness and communed one another what they might do to Yahushua. And it came to pass in those days that he went out into a mountain to pray and continued all night in prayer to the Most High. And when it was day, he called unto him his disciples, and one of them he chose 12, whom also he named apostles.
Right.
Keep reading. Yeah, verse Simon, who he also named Peter, and Andrew his brother, James and John, Philip and Bartholomew, Matthew, Thomas, James the son of Alphaeus, and Simon called Zelotes, and Judas the brother of James, and Judas Iscariot, which was also the traitor.
Right. Now let's go to Luke 14,
Okay.
verse 1. So now let's talk about more healing on the Sabbath day.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 14, verse 1. And it came to pass, as he went into the house of one of the chief Pharisees to eat bread on the Sabbath day, that they watched him. And
Okay.
behold, there was a certain man before him which had the dropsy.
Right now, the dropsies is what you call it is edema, where your body builds up excess. People build up excess bodily fluid. When you have people with the like how you had the old church ladies with the swollen ankles and the swollen feet and stuffed down into them church shoes on a
Mm,
Sunday morning. That's called edema. You can develop edema in many different parts of your body, which also can grow and it's an overload of fluid, and it can also destroy your heart, can cause heart failure, it can cause kidney disease. um you have poor blood circulation. It causes allergic reactions, it causes infections. It does a lot to your body.
mm.
Some people that has edema, they can have over excess amount of excess body fluid, and this body fluid be up under your skin and in your fatty tissues and in your flesh itself. So you suffer real bad when you have that. Depends on the level of edema that you have. Causes excess weight gain. It makes your skin tight, stretchy. It causes a lot of discomfort and pain in the areas where you have the edema at. It can be around your heart, what would be pedal edema, where you have fluid buildup around your heart, and it causes your heart to slow down, and therefore it can't pump the blood properly to distribute into the heart and back out to clean the blood and oxygenate the blood and to help you stay alive. It can really destroy you. So this man was really suffering. So go ahead.
God, verse 3. And Yahushua answering spake unto the lawyers and Pharisees, saying, Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath day? And they held their peace. And he took them, and he healed them, and let them go.
Just as the same thing with the man with the withered hand. And and basically that's when you see like somebody that probably had a stroke and their hand be like this here and they can't really move. And sometimes you see people in the wheelchair, they can't close their hand. So their hand is crunched like this here. That was the man with the withered hand.
Mm.
So go ahead.
Come. Verse 5. And they answered them, saying, Which of you shall have an ass or an ox fallen into a pit, and will not straightway pull him out on the Sabbath day.
Right? Who is not going to hurry up and pull that ox or that ass out of that ditch on this? Hurry up and get him out that ditch on the Sabbath day. You want to leave him there? They fall down into a ditch. They could have broke their leg. They could have sprained something. They could have, they could be in a very compromising position to where it can cause death on them. Laying down in that ditch. Go ahead.
Uh, and they could not answer him again to these things.
Right. And these are the lawyers of the law. These are the chief priests and the Pharisees. And then, go ahead.
And he put forth the parable to those which were bidden, and he marked how they chose out of the chief room, saying unto them.
Now that's it.
Okay, that's it. Okay.
Yeah, cut. Look at Hebrews 4:4. Now, as you can see, Yahweh Shai was operating on the Shabbat. You seen Nehemiah up and operating on the Shabbat.
Mm-hmm. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 4, verse 4. For he spake in a certain place of the 7th day on this wise, and the Most High did rest the 7th day from all his works.
Right, that's going back to Genesis chapter 2. Go ahead.
And in this place again, if they shall enter into my rest.
Now, Yahweh Shai talking about us entering into his rest. Shabbat in the Hebrew. Enter into his rest. Shabbat. Remember, sleep is the Radma, means sleep. See, now the Sabbath, now he said entering into the rest. What is that rest? From the heavy burdens. That rest is what? Not that heavy burden of what? Working. Work for hire. Because if you get hired to do a job and you don't do it properly, what happens? You get fired. Why? Because you're putting the job in jeopardy. You're putting that burden on the owners of that job. And also when you're working for yourself, got that burden on you to make your customers happy. So sometimes, a lot of times, and most of the times, what? Work for hire gets what? Very stressful. That's where that burden come in. And that's when you're not in the rest. You're not in Shabbat. You're not in rest. So do everybody got that? Can I get a con for yes or a lie for no in the comments? Okay, it's me again. All right, con.
Beverly Pressure, cool. Delicate Chadash, Khan. Tasha, Khan. Okay. Tazyar, Khan. Underwater, Khan. Excellent.
Okay, what verse you in?
Verse 6.
All right, verse 6. Read verse 6.
Khan on the one, Khan. Seeing therefore it remaineth that some must enter therein, and they to whom it was first preached entered not in because of unbelief.
So you had a lot of people that didn't come in straightway and dealing with the Sabbath right because they didn't believe. Like we have people now, they don't believe, in the way that we deal and keep with the Sabbath. Oh, I'm the Sabbath. We read in the scripture that Yahweh Shai is the Lord of the Sabbath. Look at verse 10.
Verse 10, for he that is entered into his rest, he also hath ceased from his own works. As the
So,
Most High.
so now when we enter into, read that again.
For he that is entered into his rest, he also hath ceased from his own works.
So when you enter into his rest, into the rest of the Most High, you cease, you stop from your own works. Go ahead.
Let us labor, therefore, to enter into that rest, lest any man fall after the same example of unbelief.
So now, who's the prime example of the unbelief? The brother was picking up the sticks on the Shabbat. That's our hallmark example of unbelief. Let's get Acts 15, 21 to 23.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 15, verse 21. For Moses of old time hath in every city them that preach him, being read in the synagogues every Sabbath day.
So this was done throughout the Sabbath day. We read the law of Moses throughout the Sabbath day. This is what we did on the Sabbath day. We go back and rehearse the law. We go back and rehearse the law where? Within our ears. Go ahead.
Then it pleased the apostles and the elders with the whole church to send chosen men of their own company to Antioch with Paul and Barnabas, namely Judas, surnamed Barsabas, and Silas, chief men among the brethren.
Go ahead.
And they wrote letters by them after this manner. The apostles and the elders and brethren send greeting unto the brethren which are of the Gentiles in Antioch and Syria and Sicilia.
Right. So now we know. So now they went out and they went out and spread the word on the Shabbat. So everybody's getting that. Is everybody getting that? So basically, this is how we're supposed to operate on the Shabbat.
No.
We got the Wonder One said a Christian pastor not teaching that Jesus put somebody to death for picking up sticks that would mess up their whole church offering. Yeah, it would. It would.
Yeah.
God.
Oh.
The water is correct, princess. It's correct, princess. Says C.
See, I know how I said.
It's a correct princess. She ain't say come. She said C. Sí,
See.
señor. Yeah,
The one
it's all,
before.
it's all love. It's all love.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did everybody get a better understanding on, not to sleep the Sabbath away? Oh, also go back to Leviticus 23.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 23,
Uh I want verse 26.
and verse 26.
But
And the
before you read that, get Leviticus 23 and verse 4.
verse 4. These are the feasts of the Most High, even the holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. Verse 27. Also,
Start at verse 26.
and the Most
So
High spake.
these are the feasts of the Most High. And remember, as we reading in Leviticus chapter 23, verse 1 to verse 4, these are also Sabbaths. And we're gonna read something about the Day of Atonement. Good.
And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Also on the 10th day of this 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement.
Right, a day that we afflict our souls. That no eating, no drinking, just total fasting and consecration unto the Most High. Good.
And it shall be a holy convocation unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls, an offering and offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High.
So that offering that's going to be made unto the Most High is going to be what? Made by fire. Go ahead. That's
And
that
ye
that
shall,
that's our sin offerings. Go ahead.
and ye shall do no work in that same day, for it is a day of atonement, to make an atonement for you before the Yahweh your power, the Lord your
So
power.
so now we're atoning, we're afflicting ourselves. You get a lot of Israelites because this is also a Sabbath too. Because as we read in Leviticus 23, tell you these are Sabbaths, Sabbaths of the Lord. So therefore, we cannot sleep the Day of Atonement away. So what? The Day of Atonement is on Wednesday. That is another Sabbath. As you can see, doing no servile work, nothing. So that this is another Sabbath. So we can't sleep the Day of Atonement away. Wake up 7 o'clock in the morning, brush your teeth, and go back to sleep. And then you forcing yourself to stay asleep until the sun go down. You don't afflict your soul like that. And a lot of Israelites would they be cheating and sleeping the Day of Atonement away. Just like how a lot of Israelites will sleep the Sabbath away because they're not a part of a congregation. So you can't sleep the Day of Atonement away. I just had to slide that one in there.
Uh,
Pause. And yeah. And let's get one last one. Isaiah 58 and 13.
this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 58, verse 13. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Most High, honorable, and shalt honor him, not doing thy own ways, nor finding thy own pleasure, nor speaking thy own words.
So we can't do the things that we have our self pleasure in. Read that again from the top.
If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Most High, honorable, and shalt honor him, not doing thy own ways, nor finding thine own pleasure, nor speaking thine own words.
Uh-huh. So
Then
we're
thou
not supposed to do. These are the things that we're not supposed to do. Our own pleasure, speaking our own words. And when it's saying speaking our own words, is the idle conversations of no value. These are the things that's not supposed to be done on the Sabbath day.
thou shalt delight thyself in the Most High, and I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father.
But
For
now, if we keep the laws and if we keep the Most High Sabbath day, if we keep this law, he said he's going to cause us to ride where?
upon the high places of the earth.
He's going to cause us to ride upon the high places of the earth. Meaning what? He's going to put us above all, even in our captivity. Read on. That's the end of
Oh,
it.
come. No, no, no. And feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father, for the mouth of the Most High hath spoken it.
And this is the Most High that speak these things. So did everybody pretty much understand about the Shabbat? There's a whole lot more to go, with the Shabbat and everything, but I'm just giving you the basics, the basic drifts of it, the basic gist of it.
Mm. Con. So it says.
Now let's read through some of the comments. Barack, that's
Oh,
correct. Princess says stay connected.
stay connected. What else we got? I know we got some more. Welcome. Here we go. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say earlier. It's me again. If they taught the Bible, they wouldn't have that big old mega church. They taught it correctly. Um, and then it's correct, Princess. Um, for sure. I'll definitely keep hope in my prayer.
What she said.
I just didn't want to put it on the main screen.
Okay, kind. If I could. Khan is a great princess. Khan will do.
Come. We got here.
But you let her know that you gotta let her know that you're there for, her, and she don't have to go that route that she's going.
23. Hmm.
How old is she? Is a correct princess?
Oh, she put she's
Oh, I see it. I see it. I didn't pull it. I didn't scroll up far enough. Okay, 23. Oh yeah, so that's it. That sounds like the her first true love, and things then went left.
mm,
I know that pain. That's why I can smile and laugh about it. It's hard. Yeah. Is I know that type of pain. That is her first true love. Somebody that she put her trust in. Look, and you had two kids. I already had two kids from him. Okay. Yeah. And that's a soul tie that she feels that she's feeling that broken about it. Yes, she had to have buried it for a long time, and now it's like seeping out of her tongue. But we will pray for her
come.
and see if you can try to get her to invite on some of the classes.
Oh yeah, that'll be swell. That'll be nice.
Yeah. Okay, it's not beer. Okay, it's liquor. Okay. Yeah, these things is hard. I've been down that road, and it it's gonna take us some time, but you just got to keep praying for her. And even if she don't want to try to reason with you, just let her know you there for her, and let her know she gotta be there for her children. Yonder bar, which means you're welcome. You're welcome, is the correct princess.
Come, come.
All right, with that, we're gonna say shalom, Ashar Shabbat, and y'all
So,
enjoy the rest of the Shabbat with your eyes open, wonder, laying down in bed, chilling. You know I gotta mess with you, wonder. You ain't get a chance to mess with me today.
oh man.
We enjoy seeing you each week too.
God, I miss y'all.
Yeah.
Shit, movies.
Movie. All right, sit up and watch it. You don't fall asleep on the Sabbath.
Taza, y'all
Yeah.
soon.
Man. All right, shalom, Taza Yagabar. Yonder bar. It's me again. Oh, because I knew the class was coming on, Wonder, so that's why I didn't answer you. He was having technical difficulties. Contact Yagabar. And plus, I had my hands full. Is the correct princess? Khan, much love. I want to say, may the Most High blessing each and every one of y'all. And when y'all get a chance, read Numbers chapter 6, verse 22 to the end. When y'all get a chance. And in fact, how about y'all do that after we all sign off? So with that, may the Most High bless y'all and keep y'all in the name of Yahweh Shai. And may the love and the grace and the honor and the dignity of the Father and his beloved Son shine upon y'all. With that, we say shalom and the
Shalom.
water for the sacrifice of your time for this class. Shalom.
Shalom.